Hi, I'm Irving, and I'm an Adamaniac. As our story opens, Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson are being interviewed about the Wayne Foundation on Gotham City's top morning show with Harry Ups. What are Ups and why do I care if they're Harry? Sorry, I can't help myself. Harry goes to commercial.
Friends, the rainy season is almost upon us, and if you ever get caught in a downpour, just reach for a Stay Dry umbrella. Stay Dry has been making umbrellas for 64 years now.
Maybe you ought to give one to that poor widow woman that just walked in.
I know that it's supposed to be bad luck to open an umbrella indoors, but I'll take that chance because I would like you to see the beautiful workmanship that goes into this Stay Dry umbrella. Please note the...
Never mind, I'll take care of her myself. Nobody noticed when she came in or when she went out. That cameraman didn't hear the sound her ding-doodle made. Nobody looked around when his voice disappeared. Everyone in Gotham is an idiot.
Looks like Harry Ups has lost his voice. This may be the work of one of our arch enemies.
But which one? An umbrella usually means that Penguin's waddling around somewhere.
You just put him away last week. If he escaped that quickly, you'd probably know about it.
And this is a riddle. What's black and white and full of fuzz?
A zebra. Zebra. Zebra?
No.
A zebra that eats bunnies.
A squad car.
The years have been kind to me. I forgot that we actually used to talk like that.
Yes. Speaking of squad cars, Commissioner Gordon always watches this program. He should be calling us any second.
They slip out in the confusion and head home.
Are we on the air? Due to circumstances beyond anyone's control, we now switch you to our midday movie. The big green thing that devoured Pittsburgh.
They arrive in the study just as Alfred is telling the commissioner they're not home.
Yes, Commissioner, you're calling about what happened on the morning show.
Why, yes. How did you know?
I viewed the entire affair.
I was sitting right there at the table. Oops.
A criminal has to get up pretty early in the morning to outwit you, Batman.
Would you check on the location of Joker, Riddler, and Penguin? We'll meet you in your office as soon as possible.
To the bat poles. At HQ, they learn that all three of those criminals they asked about are still in prison. Batman looks at the umbrella and says, let's take it to the Batcave and analyze it.
I don't believe there ever have been or ever will be two such selfless people.
Well, they've certainly made my job a whole lot easier, Commissioner.
And mine. I think if I were to ask, Batman would give me the cape right off his back. What a man.
I want to marry that guy, but it'll be another 50 years before I get the chance. As Batman and Robin exit, Gordon gets a visit from someone else.
Hello, Commissioner Gordon, Chief O'Hara.
Catwoman, hello, hello, hello.
Gentlemen, I'd like you to meet Eenie,
Hi, Commish.
Meanie, Miney, and Mo.
We're pleased to meet you, Commissioner Gordon and Chief O'Hara.
And they talk like Huey, Dewey, and Louie. Is Gordon on the take?
I am absolutely delighted to learn of your new venture into the world of show business.
Oh, yes. And you know, it's so much safer on this side of the law.
What does she do?
Show business is such a rewarding profession.
Tell me, what do you call yourselves?
Catwoman and the Kittens.
What do they do?
Catchy, don't you think?
Oh, yes, quite. We'd love to have you perform at the Police Benevolent Society Ball. Will you?
We haven't seen your act yet. We have no idea what it is, but will you? Will you?
With the greatest of pleasure. It'll be our debut. We'll put on a performance you'll never forget. I categorically promise you that.
As she leaves, she says, let's not tell Batman I'm back in town.
I just don't know, Commissioner. What with her being back in town and all that commotion this morning, do you suppose she could be the cause of it?
Oh, nonsense, Chief O'Hara. I can tell a reformed woman when I see one. And there is a reformed woman.
That's how he got to be commissioner, by being able to judge people so well. We know she's planning something. What is it?
Fellas, are you sure that article didn't mention where they're staying?
The world's most popular singing duo,
Chad and Jeremy,
are coming to Gotham City to appear at the Police Benevolent Society Ball.
due to the anticipated rush of their fans.
The accommodations for Chad and Jeremy are being kept secret.
Everybody knows who Chad and Jeremy were, yes? She calls Gordon and asks where they're staying. Her excuse? She wants to get with them and make sure they don't do any of the same songs. Naturally, they're staying at Wayne Manor.
Tell me, Commissioner. They call you the voice of authority in Gotham City, do they not?
At times, yes. Why do you ask?
And if you couldn't speak, it might severely cripple your effectiveness, would it not?
What do you mean?
That escalated quickly. What happened to I know a reformed woman when I see one?
Just say bye-bye, Commissioner. No more pompous prattle from you.
Next thing we know, Dick is getting a phone call.
You can win a free dance lesson at the Duncan Dance Studios if you answer this simple question.
Sorry, I'm not interested in dance lessons.
Wait a minute, Dick. The junior prom's coming up, isn't it?
Yes, but...
We don't want you to be a wallflower, do we?
Bruce hasn't taught him already? And in the canonical stories, Dick Grayson was an acrobat. I think he could handle dancing. But Bruce talks him into it. He answers the question correctly, which was, who painted Whistler's mother? Kind of like asking who's buried in Grant's tomb or what is your first name. She says she'll be right over to give him his free lesson. She doesn't ask his name or where he is, and nobody thinks to ask how she knows where to go. Bruce has to go to the electronics store to pick up a tube for one of their instruments. If you don't know what that is, Google vacuum tube. Transistors had only been around for about 10 years, and engineers and designers were still figuring out what to do with them.
1, 2, 3.
Ow!
5. That's all right. You'll get the hang of it. You're doing just fine.
I don't think I'll ever learn to dance, Miss Klutz. I just don't have any natural rhythm.
Miss Klutz. And I'm sorry, Julie, but you cannot pull off Frumpy. You're just too gorgeous even under that getup.
What are those things there?
Dogwood, why?
Dude! I'm allergic to...
Why, you're no dance teacher. You're Catwoman.
Told you. She hits him with some kind of knockout gas and takes off. Later, Chad and Jeremy are at the airport taking questions when Catwoman comes in.
Catwoman. It's nice to see a responsible citizen like you for a change.
The mask looks especially responsible. And that's that same cop we've seen half a dozen times, always doing the wrong thing. Good to know he's consistent.
Thank you, Sergeant. Come on, kittens. Let's get out of it. There are entirely too many bluecoats for us to get away with it here.
Get away with what, Catwoman? We still don't know your plan.
You will, Edie. Let's go.
Since she had her voice-stealing thingy with her, I would think it's obvious what she wants to do. But as she said, Enid left her brain in San Francisco. Bruce arrives at home and gives everybody the universal drug antidote. Then he and Dick head to the Batcave.
One good thing did come of it, Robin. We now know who our adversary is.
Poor Commissioner Gordon. He was so taken in by Catwoman.
She's a very beautiful, very enthralling woman, Robin. When you get a little older, you'll see how easy it is to become lured by the female of the species.
I've mentioned this before, and it's something that's bugged me since the beginning. How old is Robin supposed to be? Or more precisely, how old does Batman think he is? We've seen him mooning over girls. He's in high school, apparently a senior. That means he's at least 17. And Batman thinks he doesn't know how alluring a woman can be? Just because Batman doesn't know what all his body parts are for doesn't mean nobody does, including Robin.
I always think he's so civilized, don't you?
I didn't realize this custom had reached the colonies.
When Bruce told me that you were going to stay here, I'd expected...
Now, don't tell me. You expected two grubby morons to come barging in here and start smashing up the place, didn't you?
Well, I...
All right, Chad. You start slashing the cushions. I'll go in and deal with the crockery in the kitchen.
Right.
Oh, don't worry, love. We're not really like that, you know. It's just our image. Well, for instance, Chad here was a medical student, and I was reading for the law when our first record came out.
Actually, we hope to go back to school as soon as we can to complete our education.
Now,
Mustn't
don't be a dropout.
Just think of it. Every record our fans buy brings me another notch closer to becoming a brain surgeon.
In her lair next to the dance studio, Catwoman's gang wants to know what's next now that they can't go to the policeman's ball since she stole Gordon's voice.
Why don't you steal Batman's voice while you're at it?
Never. One of the few joys I have in life is when his rich, manly baritone caresses my ears with, "Catwoman, you're under arrest." Oh, it makes everything worthwhile.
Okay, whatever turns your crank, I guess. Catwoman knows they're coming, so she sets up a trap. Batman and Robin head to the studio and find themselves talking to Captain Binghamton from McHale's Navy. He was available since his show had ended earlier that year.
No, I'm sorry, Cece. The Watusi is definitely out. Now, maybe I could interest you in one of our 7-year courses in Magyar folk dances.
Citizen?
Well, if it isn't,
I'll let that speak for itself. He starts tripping over his words, so Catwoman says, let's get on with it.
Just as I suspected, Robin, she's up to her old tricks. Catwoman, can't you see the folly of your ways? With your beauty and intelligence, you could go much further helping your fellow man rather than harming him.
A bit of whimsy that escapes me at the moment, Batman. Get him, guys.
We're trying to do the sexual tension thing, but we're being so careful about the younger members of our audience that it looks more like teenagers trying to bring themselves to hold hands. Still, I appreciate the effort, and it really is funny to see Batman trying to woo her with his sappy speeches.
You know something? If he weren't such an old stick in the mud, I might let him live. But I think I can handle Batman. It's just that Robin is all work and no play. You know, maybe I could fix you up with Robin. No, that'll never work. He's too young. That age, all they're interested in is baseball.
Once all the idiots are taking a nap, Batman says, okay, come quietly. She asks a favor first.
Can I freshen up a little bit with makeup? I mean, my image might be damaged if I was seen in public with a shiny nose.
That's not suspicious at all. A little container with who knows what kind of chemicals in it. I'm sure it's just harmless powder. She never touched her face, which is good because those claws would shred it. Pay attention, Batman. She's obviously doing something else.
Holy Heidelberg, what'd you do that for?
I'm afraid we've been drugged, Robin.
They try to stay coherent for a bit and have some really funny dialogue. Check it out for yourself. They awaken in a strange place.
I'm sure you recognize this as a variation of the legendary Chinese water torture. When I throw that switch, the noise will become excruciating.
She told them earlier that this echo chamber will magnify the sound 10 million times.
And your eardrums will be shattered. Shortly following that, your brains will be turned into yuck.
How do you spell that?
And then I shall return. And then you can be mine forever, Batman.
You'll be a drooling idiot, but you'll be mine. The switch also slowed the dripping faucet. She leaves and our heroes are stuck in yet another inescapable death trap. How will they get out of this one? Only one way to find out. I'm Irving and I'm an Adamaniac. I'm Irving and I'm an what? And I'm an idiot. I don't know what I am.